Welcome to the Joy of Cruising podcast with your host, award-winning author Paul C. Thornton, a weekly conversation with the amazing cruisers featured in the Joy of Cruising books, comprised of The Joy of Cruising, Cruising Interrupted, new release, The Joy of Cruising Again, as well as other fun, informative global cruise personalities. It's the next best thing to cruising, hearing about cruising from the unique and diverse perspectives of Paul's amazing guests. If you hear about a cruise that interests you, book it at www.thejoyoфvacation.com or enter to win a free cruise for two. Again, www.thejoyoфvacation.com. We really appreciate your feedback, so leave us a text. Paul can't reply, but he may read your text on the air.
Hello, passionate cruisers. This is Paul, and this week on the Joy of Cruising podcast, I'm delighted to welcome back again to the Joy of Cruising podcast, Rich and Jazzy, creators of the amazing A Rich and Jazzy Life brand. A Rich and Jazzy Life is comprised of their top 110,000 cruise channel on YouTube. MSC, M-A-S, their 115,000 Facebook affinity group, known for its legendary group cruises, and in my opinion, the most influential cruise group on Facebook, and their companion Instagram accounts, and much more. You can learn more about why I think so highly of Rich and Jazzy in my latest book release, The Joy of Cruising Again, where I wrote a feature about them, or listen to their two previous podcast episodes, episode 15 back in 23 and episode 80 in 24. We love A Rich and Jazzy Life. You can count on two fingers the Joy of Cruising podcast guests to appear on the podcast 3 times. Well, Rich and Jazzy are one of them, and I'm confident there will be more. Welcome back, Rich and Jazzy, to the Joy of Cruising podcast.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for having us again. We're happy to be back for the third time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And you are a pioneer. You're the second guest to be on for the third time. So
third time's a charm. I love that. Thank you for having me.
So how you both doing?
We are both doing great. You know, very blessed for each day that we have on this earth, you know. We literally are just taking every day and just being grateful for life more than ever. You know, we've been grateful for life before, but, you know, I just recently lost my father unexpectedly. And it just really shows, and I've known this, but when it really hits you, it really shows that every second, every minute, every hour counts, every memory, every picture, every single thing that you do on this earth, everything you say to someone, the last that you have, that all matters. So when someone asks me how I'm doing good, I'm doing great, and I'm grateful for being here another day.
Well, I'm sorry about your recent loss. You know, I have to ask about the girls. So that was their granddad, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Were they? Did they see him much?
Oh yes, they love their grandpa. They talk to him on the phone, FaceTime, just because because my parents live in New York and we live in Georgia. So, you know, FaceTime is, you know, our ways of communicating every day. But my father was actually on his way to, he reached our home to watch our girls because we were going on the MSC group cruise. So when he passed.
Wow.
So, you know, he was coming out here. We were actually going to be doing our first back-to-back.
Yeah.
So we were excited about that. So him and my mom were going to stay at our house in Atlanta for 2 weeks. And we were like, yeah, we gone for 2 weeks. And
yeah, we're going to host our group cruise, then we're going to get off and get right back on and do just a Rich and Jazzy doing our thing.
Cruise with a different itinerary.
Mm-hmm.
So we were really excited about things, you know, unexpectedly took a turn for the worse. And my guests, Lorraine and Royce, were devastated. You know, that was their only living grandfather because Richard's father had passed many years ago. So it definitely hit us all extremely hard.
For the listeners, Rain and Royce are Rich and Jazzy's daughters, and I just in the intro I just mentioned some of Rich and Jazzy's properties, assets. I said and a lot more. Well, that lot more kind of extended to the girls who have probably as many followers as mom and dad. So, uh, but if you want to learn about the girls, I want to talk about Rich and Jazzy today. But if you want to learn about the girls, I did a whole profile. As I mentioned in the intro, I profiled Rich and Jazzy in my latest book, The Joy of Cruising Again. They've been on the podcast a couple of times before, so you can learn all about the girls. I know, as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and put it out there. I know sometime in the not too distant future, I don't know, next couple of years or so, if their parents allow, I'm going to have the girls on the Joy Cruising podcast. Just the girls.
They would love that. One thing Randy Royce love to do is talk.
Oh man.
Well, you tell them I said that, and it's in the back of my mind. I'll work on that.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, sounds good.
For the listeners, there may be a few listeners in the world who don't know you, but most everyone does. But refresh our memories. Share some background information: where you're from, where you live, professional background, anything you would like to share.
All right, so I'm Rich and this is Jazzy, where I'm Richard and she's Jasmine. That's how we make up a rich and jazzy life. And Rich and Jazzy is just that's our manifestation of how we live our life. We've always wanted to live a rich and jazzy life, and that's literally what we do. Not way beyond our names. More background. I was born in Trinidad, grew up in New York, met in New York together. We moved to Atlanta together. We've in Atlanta had Rain and Royce added and got married in Atlanta. We started our YouTube channel just to have family memories. We started recording when Rain was born, so that was 9 years ago, and we just kept the camera rolling ever since then. We got into we always did like cruising, and after the pandemic, we pretty much doubled down on cruising, and that's when we started considering ourselves cruise vloggers because we dove all the way into cruising. We started only doing pretty much cruise content alone on our channel, and with that said, we also started a company, Melon and at Sea, for people of color that like cruising. We started as a Facebook group, which grew and grew, and we now do group cruises. We do at least two group cruises a year. We're doing pretty large group cruises, usually 300 people at a time that come on board. So it's really, really a good time. Just we never really expected to have such a big impact in cruising. That wasn't our initial game plan. We just wanted to record our family memories, but now we're still recording our family memories, but we're also doing a whole lot in cruising.
Now listeners, Rich just kind of glossed over group cruising. Melanin at Sea's group cruises are legendary. So much so that I have done a podcast in the past that solely was on one of the group cruises, and it wasn't Rich and Jazzy weren't the guests. So you'll get some good information about their group cruises. Again, if you listen to past episodes, and I'm going to ask them a little bit about their most recent group cruise. And then there's another one, and I don't have the episode number in front of me, but Venus Anderson, who is the administrator for Melon at Sea, I had her on solely to talk. Well, I had her on a couple of times, but on one particular time, I had her on solely to talk about their group cruise to Alaska. I love Alaska. That might be my favorite destination. Well, I've only been once, but that might be the destination that I've enjoyed the most. And so I definitely wanted to get the scoop on their whole group going to Alaska, and that episode was quite a success. So if you are thinking about a group cruise, and I'm going to ask Rich and Jazzy to talk about upcoming ones a little bit later. You want to get a sense of what one's like, just look up my past episodes. Go to Venus Anderson's episode. So let's go way back. We won't spend a lot of time on this because you've been on a couple of times, but I suspect we have a fair amount of aspiring cruisers in our listenership. Say something about how and when you first cruised or first got into cruise.
Oh boy, the first time that I took a cruise, my parents took me on a cruise when I was in the seventh grade, and I went on the Carnival Fantasy. And that was my first time ever getting on a plane. We left from Port Canaveral. Never been on a plane in my life. Never been on like a real vacation. So, we grew up in New York. So like my vacations was going to the Bronx or going to my aunt's house in Long Island,
Mm-hmm.
a vacation for me. So taking a real trip and leaving the country and going to the Bahamas, and that was a really cool experience for me. And I never forgot that trip. And but I never cruised again. I until I became an adult. So from 12, or that was the year of, I think it was 2000, I went on that cruise. So from 12 all the way until I was 21, when I graduated college
Mm-hmm.
and Rich and I were dating, he said, "Oh, let's go on a cruise and I'll pay your fare as a graduation gift to you." So I said, "Oh, okay. Well, I got a man that's going to take me on a cruise. Okay." So we took a cruise, and it just so happened. It wasn't like a romantic trip. It was
Yeah.
also my cousin who had, I think at the time, maybe she was turning maybe 26 or 27 or something like
Mhm.
that. Maybe no, she was turning about 28 during that time, because if I was 21. So anyway, she wanted to go on a cruise as well. Then my parents, they were like, "Oh, I want to go." So it just became like a little family trip,
Yeah.
and we took a cruise. This will be Richard's first cruise, and that
Mhm.
was the Carnival Glory. Carnival
Yeah.
Glory used to leave from New York.
Right.
So that was 2020. That was 2012.
And it wasn't
No,
that
yeah,
exciting either because
2010.
it went to Canada. So it's
Yeah,
not like it went to the Bahamas, but we were just excited to be on a cruise.
yeah.
Actually, funny, last year we actually went back on that ship for the first time,
Hmm.
returning. And the Carnival Glory, we went on that for Thanksgiving last year.
Hmm.
And we went on there like, let's see how many things are the same and where all the areas that we remember taking pictures on, and it was exactly the same.
Exactly the same. But you know what? They kept up good with that
They
ship. I
did.
would say Carnival did a good job.
We had a great time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good.
Is that the first time you've been back on a cruise ship you've been on?
No, we've done like the Disney Dream like 3 times.
Okay.
Done
Um,
Virgin's ships a couple times.
I've done so I went back on the Fantasy, the first
Mm.
cruise ship when the Fantasy was still around. We took Rain when she was a baby because they used to leave from Mobile, Alabama. So we drove from Georgia to Mobile, Alabama, and went on that.
Hmm.
Um,
We repeated a couple.
yeah.
Yeah, just a curiosity question. I have vowed, I may change that, but I have vowed I will never repeat a ship.
That's a good, no, it's a
Good. There's a
good
lot
idea.
out
There's
there.
so many out there.
Yeah, and I'm a lot older than you, and I just don't have time to waste. I wanna try everything. So I just can't
Yeah.
imagine
Why
Make
repeat?
it work.
going back. Yeah, I've made a little liar out of myself because I also once vowed I would never repeat a destination. I mean, I know I repeat some destination because if you go to the
Right, so on a
Bahamas,
cruise, you have
Yeah.
to.
you stop in
Right. In
Nassau.
Nassau. Yeah.
So yeah, I've been to Nassau a zillion times. I've been to Cozumel a million times. I've been to Costa Maya,
Mhm.
all these times. But when I'm talking about a location, I mean it's for instance, I had vowed before we went to Alaska that I would only go to a destination once. Well, that was a lie because in some kind of way I'm going back to Alaska.
One way or another,
Oh my
he's
gosh,
been
I
there.
said the same thing.
Yeah.
Before I went on last, I was like, well, this is going to be like a one and done. After the trip, people were like, oh, we have to go back. It was great.
It was so different.
Yeah.
Plus, when y'all went, there was no snow.
Right.
So, not a whole
It,
lot.
it got so warm that people were walking around with shorts and t-shirts on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been over a year since you were last on. My guess is probably you've done about 20 cruises since then. But anyway, since you were last on, catch us up on some cruises that you've done, other than your last cruise, which is the topic. Embassy World America. That's kind of the main topic of
So we
conversation.
did some old ones. Like we said, we ran back the Carnival Glory. We actually went on a Carnival Liberty, which one we intentionally went on that one. We haven't put that video out yet, but we went on that one because they labeled it the stinky ship. So we were like, we got to see how bad this really is. And we usually don't do stuff like that. But
Wow, now you're living well when you can choose to go on a cruise to disprove something negative about it.
that's how serious we are about cruising. So we did that. We also went on all the latest and the greatest. Like we did the brand new Sun Princess. We did their first sailing in America. We did the Utopia of the Seas. We did the Icon of the Seas. We did all the biggest and the newest out there also. We also did two group cruises since then, like you said, Alaska. We also did our Southern Caribbean. We ran that back with different itinerary.
On Resilient.
That was your last one.
That's our most recent. Yeah.
So tell us about that. What was the itinerary? What was the ship? How many did y'all bring? Did that top all the previous ones, or?
It was another epic one. It was so different. The Southern Caribbean vibe just automatically, by the time you get there, it's like vacation started already way before.
Right, because it leaves from
Not
Puerto
like
Rico.
Miami. For some reason, there's a whole different vibe about leaving out of Puerto Rico. You get there early and you're hanging out in Puerto Rico already before you get on the ship. You do get on later because it's Virgin. And then you're going to really like what we would consider like exotic islands because all the cruises don't go there. It's not the Bahamas. And no offense to the Bahamas because we love the Bahamas. Bahamas is absolutely beautiful, but we get to go to places that are a little bit more untouched. So that's what was special, I think, about this one.
Yeah, so the itinerary, we went to Tortola, we went to Barbados, we went to St. Lucia, we went to Antigua and St. Martin. And it was a 7-night cruise. It was only one day at sea. And when I tell you everyone, now I know a lot of Black people like to say we don't get sunburn. Oh, I got sunburn. I was peeling for days, okay, after that cruise, even with the sunscreen. So it was, you really get a real tropical experience.
Yeah, I learned the hard way a long time ago. I was under the naive assumption that dark-skinned people don't get sunburn.
Yeah.
And we were in, I think it was the Virgin Islands. And so I went in the water. I went at the beach. I went in the water. My wife said she was going back to the room. And I said, okay, let me just lay here and let the sun dry the water off me. As soon as the sun dries the water off me, I'll be in. And so that's what I did because the sun was so direct, it felt like you could reach up and touch it. So I just laid there and let the sun dry me off. And then I went in the cabin or the room, and then it came. That laying there, letting the sun dry you off. I tried to get in the shower. I was like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. I mean, I was a wimp. And so I will never make that mistake of thinking dark-skinned people don't get sunburned.
We definitely get sunburned. I had to learn the hard way as well.
I feel bad for you guys. I'm from Southern Caribbean, so it doesn't touch me.
Yeah.
I don't even wear sunscreen when I'm on vacation.
He barely wears sunscreen. He wears it because sometimes I make him like, you can still get sun cancer. So, but Rich is born in Trinidad, so he's good.
So that was your group cruise. How many did you have this time?
That was 123 people.
123, okay.
Yeah,
now that's not the largest you've had, right? What's the largest you've had?
No, that's actually our smallest group cruise. Our largest we had was 300. Our largest one was the Carnival Venezia out of New York. Our
Okay.
do not play about a rich and jazzy life. They really come out and support. Our main audience is new. Even though we live in Atlanta, we're from New York, and New Yorkers recognize New Yorkers, and our main core audience are New Yorkers.
It's funny because this cruise leaving from Puerto Rico, the majority of the people were New Yorkers.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah. We mainly have a lot of New Yorkers. So that's why we said we will go back. So listeners, if you're listening, we will do another group cruise leaving from New York or New Jersey. Uh, just don't know when yet.
So then now you say you went on Icon. I had you on to talk about Icon. That was the one with the restaurant, right? The Empire.
Yep.
Yes.
Empire Supper
Yeah.
Club.
And then it also had the special place that y'all bought out the whole place and kicked everybody out.
Celebration day.
Yeah.
Right. I'm telling you, listeners, Rich and Jazzy, they do it up. Real quick, just so listeners, those who missed that episode know what I'm talking about. Talk about that.
So when we did the Icon of the Seas, we wanted to make sure it was truly iconic. And if you check out our vlogs, you'll see we did it big on there. We did go to the Empire Supper Club. It's their new experience that it is. I think it was a $400 dinner that night for just me and Jasmine. Really, really good. Then we also did celebration table is similar to what people know as chef's table, but it's a brand new thing that Royal Caribbean had introduced, and it's a private room, private dinner. It's for about, I think it holds about 14 people. We actually bought it out for just the four of us,
Yeah,
just
you
our
hear me,
family.
listeners? They did it for the family. This was a family outing. This is a banquet room. I don't know if it was a banquet room. I wasn't there, but
It's in the back of a restaurant. So yeah, they close off this whole section for you.
Yep, but we actually filmed on there on a documentary that later on came out. I don't know if we talked about it at the time with your episode, but we filmed for a documentary that originally aired in the UK. And now if you are on any Royal Caribbean ship in their fleet, you will see we're on their TVs playing that document.
oh
In your
wow. Is there any way to go directly to it? Can I see it? Can the listeners see it?
If you
No,
have a
there's
VPN,
yeah.
you can watch it on Channel 4 in the UK with a VPN, and it's
It's called the world's biggest cruise
there
ship.
you go.
It's called the world's biggest cruise ship, and if you are on a Royal Caribbean ship, on any Royal Caribbean ship, on Channel One, on their, I forgot the name of the channel, but I know it's their Channel One. You can watch it. It's a documentary, and you'll see us. You'll see us on there. We filmed about 9 different scenes with that company. Of course, a lot of things that we did got cut.
Mhm.
Okay, of course, in the chopping block because the whole thing is not about us,
Right.
but it's about building
icon.
and the icon of the seas. But it was a really cool experience, and it's cool that when people go on Royal Caribbean now, they see us playing in their stateroom, so they can watch us while laying in their bed on a cruise. But the icon was very, very nice. The reason why we purchased that entire celebration table was not only because we wanted to just ball out, we were celebrating that we hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So that was
That's right. That's right. I
it
remember
was
that.
a
Yeah.
huge monumental thing for us. It wasn't an easy flight for us with YouTube. So we wanted to go big, and that's how we went big.
Now I missed that you went on Icon. That's the one. That's a new one. Don't they do specialize in short cruises?
The Utopia. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Utopia. I'm
Yep.
confusing. I said Icon. Yeah, I meant Utopia.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. I'm straight.
Utopia.
Known as the
Could-
world's
and
biggest.
They leave.
Yes.
They leave out of Galveston,
No,
right?
out of Port Canaveral.
Oh, Port Canaveral. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
4 nights and 4-night cruises and 3-night cruises. They switch it up, and we went on a 4-night. The 4 nights on Monday through Fridays,
Mm-hmm.
and it was great. It's a real fun cruise ship for Royal Caribbean.
It's a lot of ship experience in a very few days, which makes it great because then you really want to go back.
Yeah, yeah. Usually 4-night cruises, short cruises are, typically older, smaller ships, and to have a brand new ship doing short cruises, is it a hit? Have you heard a lot?
I think it is a hit. It has to be a hit because just looking at the future, what they've planned forward. So they've now converting the Wonder of the Seas to be doing the same thing on Royal. And Carnival has already announced that their XL class is going to start, the Mardi Gras is going to start doing short sailings. So that to me indicates that it is working and they're having to put more ships, big ships, for the short sailings.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mardi Gras, that's the only XL that I've been on, and I like that. That's only doing
Yeah.
4-day cruises. That's nice.
I love that they'll be doing 4 days because that leaves us an opportunity to be able to get back on the Mardi Gras because we sometimes we don't have a full week to go on.
Just can't spare 7 days
we
all the
can't
time.
spare
Right,
7 days.
right.
Actually works on the weekends. It's harder for us.
And then you mentioned Sun Princess in there. Now, Sun Princess is one that, I had booked and I canceled twice, or not canceled, postponed twice because I felt like, that area that was undone, was it Deck 19 or something? I wanted that to be done. So I kept thinking by pushing it back, they would go ahead and get it done. And now I understand it's never getting done.
It's never getting done. They took it off. Imagine our disappointment going on the ship and we're showing the girls videos of what they're going to be doing with the kid. It was all stuff for the kids and
Yeah.
they were excited about that.
It seems
And
like their
then
launch
it was gone.
ideas just didn't work out. Like they planned a ship and they had it ready for like trying to get it more into the family cruising vibe versus the older crowd that they're known for. And it seems like their crowd didn't accept it and they pivoted too fast without giving it a fair chance.
Did you otherwise like the Sun?
Overall, I think it's a good ship. There's great eats. The customer service was really lacking. Other than that, I think so customer service is a big deal, so that makes it hard. But then food is a big deal, and then the food was good.
I
So
thought the entertainment was great.
it was.
The ship itself, I thought the ship itself was a great,
Mhm.
nice size ship. I found there was lots to do.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it, and I would go on the Star Princess when it comes out.
Now, have you heard if Star, for the listener, Star is the follow up, the sister ship
Mhm.
to Sun? Have you heard what did Star decide on that Area 19? Did they just scrap it as well, or?
You know what? I haven't done my research on that because after I got off Princess, I kind of like put them on the back burner.
Yeah.
And also because their social media department played us so bad. We were supposed to be hosted and all this other stuff, and that all went down the drain. They changed the like person that they worked with, and they didn't live up to their end of the agreement with
They
us.
basically dropped the ball. Supposedly, they only dropped the ball for us and all the other influencers that basically had the same agreement. No one else they dropped the ball for.
Yeah,
So it was kind of
right.
convenient that they dropped the ball on the owners of Melon and at Sea because the people that they did not drop the ball for looked a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Sun Princess was going to be my first experience with Princess. I've heard good things, but now I'm waiting for Star Princess, and again, I want to see if it's going to be the full experience, or,
Yeah, now Star
what's Star going to do with? Because I hear everything is pretty much laid out the same. So
Yeah.
I guess it's just they just did a pickleball court or something on the Sun.
I'm not sure what they changed it to because when it came over, they would, I think, on our sailing, that first sailing in America, they were literally breaking it down on our sailing. But one thing exciting about the Star Princess that you might be interested in is it's going to Alaska. That's really nice. It will
Yeah.
be a good ship in
It would
Alaska.
be great ship in Alaska. Absolutely. I feel like it's designed for Alaska. Well, especially with the hole in the back. But does it actually close? I don't remember.
No, it was like vented.
Oh, right,
I don't
right.
know
It's
if it
like cut.
closes.
Yeah, right. It was cut up, cut
Yeah.
open. That's right.
I was kind of just doing as I do, browsing YouTube, and then I come to this video, and it's you guys acting sort of like news correspondents on location for MSC World America. So what's going on? Tell us about that role.
So very cool. We were just, just another day minding our business. And MSC reaches out to us and they asked us if we would come on board their brand new ship for the naming ceremony, a preview cruise, 3 nights, and if we would show our audience what they have to offer. So, of course, we were interested. We were already interested in that ship um, because we know MSC's product, especially in the kids department. So we know it's a good family cruise. And we always do say they right now have the best value in the cruising industry when you look at dollars for what you get. And we went on board this new ship to experience it for the 3 days, and they delivered. They really delivered on this new ship. They changed things around a little bit for the American market. They're trying to change their usual European style, everything down to the cruise director, and they've done it. And they knocked it out the park on this one.
I've really enjoyed it, and I'm literally looking forward to going back on World America.
So I don't know if you are still under contract or under whatever the right word is with MSC, but assuming that you are, well, whether you are or not, walk us through the ship. I hear it is amazing.
So the ship is literally their largest ship. So it's one of the largest ships in the world.
I believe it is MSC. I believe this class, I could be wrong, but I think this class of ships is the tallest in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And it really they have it's called a world
Promenade.
The World Promenade. Really, I was like, wow, MSC, this is really nice. They have a whole sports bar there, the treats and eats with the sweets and the milkshakes and the crepes. And they have a Greek restaurant on there. They have high-end stores on this World Promenade. Then they come out and they have a DJ that DJs on the World Promenade. They have a slide that comes all the way down. It is really, really also elegant. So
That's how they're really, I think, killing the competition because they're giving you the fun, they're giving you all the things that the competition has. But if you look at the ship, everything just looks nicer. It looks a little bit more elevated. The decor, the aesthetics, it just looks a little bit nicer.
Yeah. And the reason why I also say I'm looking forward to going back is because Rain and Royce really love MSC's kids camps, and it wasn't open for this preview sailing. So I know that they would have a blast because MSC does things with the kids unlike other cruise lines. They take them out. Hmm.
Now, were Rain and Royce on the cruise with you?
Yes. So initially, we weren't allowed to bring Rain and Royce, but we had to go back and forth with them and tell them that, we're a family channel. Our girls also create content. And we had to change the term and conditions to our contract. And eventually, we were able to bring Rain and Royce on as well.
Yeah,
So,
Red and Royce are easy to negotiate because they're easy sale. I mean, people see them and they're like, "Oh my God, we would like them on board."
yeah,
MSC wanted them on board.
Now, let me ask you this. I know that, I think I watched your live. I know that you had a responsibility to do some social media posts in conjunction with
Yes.
your correspondent role. Did Rain and Royce have to do any social media posts on their platforms?
So no, on their platforms, they were not contractually obligated to
Okay.
post anything. So be, it's just that our amount of stuff got a little bit lengthier because we brought them on with us.
Right.
Okay.
We brought them on so we could show the family vibe, being a family together, rather than just going there and saying, well, this is what they have for families. They wanted us to be able to experience it as a family. So that's what we really negotiated.
Yeah.
Now, I've been on MSC once. I did a podcast about it. It was a Christmas cruise with my family. So automatically, that's always going to start with the glass half full view because there's nothing like a Christmas cruise with your family. And my review, I don't know if you call it a review, but my reflections of the cruise was not that bad. It was at a time when MSC had some mixed reviews. My biggest problem with it, and I want to ask, have they fixed that? As you say, they always have beautiful vessels, but they had no complimentary meals available during the day except the buffet, which made the buffet an absolute mess. Have they fixed that issue? Do they have any complimentary places to eat other than the main dining room and the buffet?
So yes, they have by poolside. You can get burgers, you can get pizza,
Hot dogs.
hot dogs,
Next
chicken.
to the water park, next to all the activities, the harbor, there's an area, the bar over there also serves food. Now, quick eats. When you get on the promenade, they have quick eats there. There are some you can pay for at the Greek spot. There's also quick eats that includes the popcorn, cotton candy, hot dogs, hamburgers, and
Beef
Jamaican beef
patty,
patties,
empanadas, beef
empanadas.
patties. Yeah, they actually did listen.
The sports bar has food. There's another area that's inside that would be similar to where cruise lines have like a late night pizza vibe.
Mhm.
It's that times 10. So it's actually open late. You leave the
Yeah.
club. We were in there at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you don't just get pizza, full-blown pizza selections, but also take and go chicken nuggets, chicken wings, hot dogs, hamburgers, fries. All these things are available to you kind of 24/7, it seemed like.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's 24 hours or they just close at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I didn't stay up late to know, and I don't also know what they changed after the preview cruise.
Yeah.
Well, good. It sounds like they're listening to the comment cards because
Yeah, they listen to the American audience, and glad they did
Yeah.
that.
they definitely would have to fix that if they expect to draw customers from Carnival and Royal
Yeah.
and Norwegian. I mean, you can just always eat, you know. Now,
Well, you're
now
right.
one thing even though I kind of slammed MSC, in a couple of ways, I did point out though at that time, up to that time, they had the best pizza at sea, in my opinion, and I raved about their private island.
Mhm.
Both are very nice. By the way, they've since been surpassed with best pizza at sea by their sister line, Explorer.
Oh,
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
Not surprised, but wow.
Yeah, I mean, we took a tour of Explorer.
We ate in the
We
buffet.
ate in a buffet, but I didn't
We didn't
try the
have the pizza. We never
pizza.
thought that we should try the
Oh,
pizza.
yeah.
And for the listeners, Rich and Jazzy refer to it as the buffet. That is definitely
Not a buffet.
not a word you should use in association with. It's called the Emporium Marketplace.
Yes.
And it's the closest thing they have to a buffet, but
Yeah.
it is a far cry
another
from a
level.
Yeah,
buffet.
you definitely are not just taking tongs and spoons and feeding
No,
yourself.
because the waiter came over like, "Would you like wine?" We were like, "Yes."
Yes, I would like a glass of wine. Thank
Right.
you.
Would you like a couple of grilled lobster tails?
well,
Yes,
what
I'll
kind of
take
buffet is
4 or
Yes.
5. But yeah. So anyway, this is about you. So let me get back to. So anything else on World America you wanna? Will you
So
do? Will you do this again?
I will do it again. Let me tell
yeah,
you, the shows were phenomenal. Really enjoyed it. They have a Dirty Dancing in concert. It's not Dirty Dancing the musical, and I think that people out there who are not into musicals, but as someone who is a theater expert, I need to let you guys know there's a difference between something that is a musical and something that's in concert. So if you see a show titled In Concert, that means they're just going to be singing songs from the show with dancing, a band playing. So that is what they're doing on MSC, but it was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Definitely something, if you enjoy the music, because if you think back on it, Dirty Dancing is not a musical movie, but they have a lot of songs that are memorable from that movie. So what they do is they take the songs that are played throughout that movie, they're singing it, they're dancing. It was really, really nice. They also have it's called, I think it's called like some type of tribute show. Um, and
Like All Star
yeah,
something.
all star something. And basically they take all like the biggest pop artists and they have, the cast singing their songs. Well, there is this one girl on that, I think her name is Elizabeth. She does Whitney Houston and Beyonce. And when I tell you the best Whitney Houston and Beyonce, I wouldn't call her impersonator, but the way she sings, she has their cadence, she has their mannerisms down to a T.
I've never seen anything like it.
She was outstanding. And the cruise director let us know that she has her own show that she does all Whitney Houston songs. So I have to go back. I have to go back to go see this.
What's her name?
Her name is Elizabeth. I don't know her last
Okay.
name. I didn't get her last name, but I know her name is Elizabeth.
Okay, because I did a podcast with a headliner who she did a show called "I'm Your Whitney Tonight," and it was oh my good, it was good enough that I did a podcast on her. So
wow. And what
but
cruise
yeah,
line is she on?
that was on Celebrity.
Oh, Celebrity. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but that's good to hear about entertainment as well because on my first cruise, we're not big cruise entertainment people, so I can't say that we gave them a lot of chances. We didn't go to every show, but I thought the entertainment was kind of just okay on MSC. So even that sounds so things are looking up.
They twisted that for the American market on this ship.
Yeah.
Sure.
They also
Not what we've seen in the past on MSC.
Improved on the DJs, improved on the music, more music in different areas, DJ playing on the promenade, DJ playing in the club. Like gets more to the American market. So I love that.
And I also can't talk about the World America without mentioning Dr. E being the cruise director on there is one of the best cruise directors in the cruising industry. He's so talked about, and we've never sailed with him, but now we understand why he's so talked about. He's excellent.
So good for the listeners. So he's been on what lines?
Carnival. He was a Carnival cruise director. He was very popular on there. He was on a Netflix show. I don't know. I never saw it, so I don't know what it was about. But it's just someone they always talked about, and then we started hearing about this guy he's in Melanessi, and he would see people in the community and he'd make a joke. We thought it was a joke when he was like, "Hey, I want a T-shirt," and then we heard it from like the third person. We're like, "Oh wait, Dr. E, I think he's serious. He does want a Melanessi T-shirt." So we did meet him, and he's just really, really a nice guy.
Very nice.
But does such a good job on that ship.
And he's actually from Decatur, Georgia. So he's from out here. So really, really cool person. And I'm excited to sail with him again.
Good. Well, let's talk about the future. What do you have booked?
Let's talk about the future. Okay, so our next cruise that's coming up, we are going to Greece. We are excited because this time we've been to Greece on Disney, and I think we spoke about that maybe our first time we were on your podcast, how we took the girls on a trip on Italy, and that was our biggest, family adventure and stuff like that. It was the second one, but this time we're actually hosting a group, CEOs at Sea. It's not our company; it's one of our clients' company. And she asked us to be like her travel agents and curators of this group cruise experience. So this will be our third group cruise with this group. And they decided that they wanted to go to Greece this summer. So we booked all the clients. We're curating the experience for them, and we're going along with them to Greece. So we're going on
what cruise line?
Yeah, Virgin Voyages. We're going back on Resilient Lady. And I'm glad that I'm going back on Resilient Lady because for the group cruise, with everything that I was going through prior to the group cruise, I didn't get to experience the ship and the shows and stuff. I literally went on that cruise just to host the Melanet Sea group cruise.
A lot of our cruises were so busy, we don't get the full experience. So we're we're hoping to get the full experience of
Yeah,
Resilient Lady.
and that ship, it has different, and I love shows, so they have different shows and stuff on Resilient Lady. So I'm excited about doing that, and I'm excited about going to Greece with just me and Richard, adults, so we can really have a adult only time.
Yeah, we've got overnight in Mykonos, so we're looking forward to that, and then we're gonna see if we could do a stop before and after and do something new and exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. What else you got?
Okay, so
We're
after
gonna
that,
go after that. We've got another group cruise coming up. So our
This is what, 5.5, 6.0? I
we're up
can't keep up
to
with you.
4.0. So
4.0.
4.0, we're
Okay.
going back to Carnival. We're going to the Carnival celebration, and that is all because of Carnival opening Celebration Key. So this is the first time that this Carnival celebration is going to be going to Celebration Key. So we looked at it.
Tell the listeners about
Celebration
Celebration
Key.
Key.
So Celebration Key is Carnival's new private destination. It's on one of the islands it's not a private island. So it's a section of the private island in the Bahamas there. And it is going to have the largest lagoon in the Caribbean. So basically, you're going to get there and you're going to see the biggest pool you've ever seen in your life. And it's definitely their answer to Royal Caribbean's Coco Key and Norwegian. I've heard is stepping theirs up. Everyone is building up their private islands, and Carnival also has to keep up. So this is their answer. Keep it up.
Is Carnival going to have anything like a amusement park type stuff like Coco Cay?
So they've got, I don't think they have
no.
that section where it's just all rides. They do have some pretty big slides that they've shown in the mock-ups.
Mm-hmm.
They have incorporated a lot of things that are similar, like a beach club area that you pay for. They have an adults only area.
Mm-hmm.
They have a relaxing area. So they've incorporated things that the other islands have, the other private destinations have. They have their own version of it.
Okay. Anything else?
So that's what we've gotten then.
That's July, and then in August we are headed back to Royal Caribbean for one of the this will be the world's biggest cruise ship. We are back for another world's biggest cruise ship. We are going on Star of the Seas. We'll be on that for the which used to be the inaugural sailing until Royal Caribbean pushed
They
it.
put out like 5 or 10 more sailings in front of it.
So we're no longer the inaugural sailing.
So that's the successor to the Icon.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
The Icon's sister ship, and we'll be on that for Labor Day week, and we're excited about that. We'll be with the girls for that one, and excited about seeing. I mean, we love the Icon, so I'm excited about the the Chicago style version of the Empire Supper Club. I'm excited about that.
So when are you going on that?
August 31st.
Okay, because I was going to say, I'm sure we'll have you back on in 26, but I probably want to have you back on before then, so you can just kind of give us the scoop on Star
of the Seas. Absolutely.
So yeah, I suspect we'll talk to you before 26. Before we let you go, I know how busy you all are, and you have to pick up the girls from school. But a couple of light, real quick, fun questions. First of all, let me welcome the Rich and Jazzy Life and Melanin at Sea fans and friends listening. So that your family and friends and fans can get to know you better, let me ask a few questions that I like to ask repeat guests. So for starters, tell our listeners and your friends, what do you do in your me time? And don't say what me time.
No, literally, what me time? No,
There
you know
go.
what?
I saw the expression on your face as I asked that question. That's why I said, don't say what me time.
I had to really stop and me time. You know what we do in our me time? We sit, we'll make a nice charcuterie board, we'll have a glass of wine, and we will watch whatever TV show, whether we love Power, the whole Power series.
Yeah.
So we'll watch Power, we'll watch a new movie or a series on Netflix. And that really is a lot to us. Like that is
Yeah.
our me time. We don't need to go out. We don't need to hit the town. Our me time is us in our bed with our charcuterie board, our glass of wine, and a Netflix show.
Any new series or movies to turn our listeners on to?
Well, besides Power, and I just been watching just a lot of like a documentary type of stuff. I've been watching about the Gone Girl with the Gilligo Killer out there.
Long Island.
Long
Yeah.
that was real good. I watched that. I'm watching about the kids on YouTube, and about them being exploited. They have a documentary about that. Um I don't have any new
Yeah, those are
series that I'm watching
those
though.
are okay for me.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about them.
I'm not curious about it, but I find it interesting because that's what we do is YouTube, and I want to see other people's viewpoints for kids that was really, really huge
Yeah.
and successful. These kids have like $12 million. These people are making $500,000 a month off of
Wow.
YouTube. So, I want to see what's out there and what's going on and people's viewpoints of, especially because we have children on YouTube, and what's people's viewpoint. But the things that this mother was doing, I don't plan on doing. So it's really interesting to watch though. And it's sad because I think that it also is going to draw a lot of negative feedback from people that have no clue about YouTube. And like when they see our kids, maybe they feel like we're forcing them to do this, we're forcing them to talk. They don't want to be in front of the camera when not every child is the same and not every situation is the same. Because
Did
when
you
we watch
mention the
uh,
name of that series?
oh my gosh, I can't even think of the name. I can't even think of the name of it right now. I have to deal with a YouTuber named Piper Raquel. Uh, yeah.
Okay. What are you listening to anything right now in terms of music, podcasts, audio books you want to turn us on to?
I really don't have no time for no books. I've been listening over and over to my Cowboy Carter, getting ready for Beyonce's concert this summer. And
So you gonna go?
yes, I'm going, of course. She's in the Beehive. She will be there in July. I'm excited about that. And I will, yeah, that's basically what I'm listening to on repeat because I want to know word for word when I get there. But
Now, Rich, when I said, "Are you gonna go?" You didn't say
Oh,
anything.
I'm
You're not
going.
going with
yes,
Jazzy? Oh, okay.
Apparently I'm booked too.
yes, Rich.
I've been trying to, hey, by the way, I got a ticket for sale. Okay.
Well, you say apparently you've
If
been booked
anybody
too.
wants to buy a ticket,
He's got
I
it.
have a ticket for sale.
Don't see the Michael Jackson of our time right now, okay? I said you have to see her at least once in person, Rich. So he'll be there. There's a lot of men that go with their wives, girlfriends. I'm like, it's not just all women in the audience screaming for Beyonce, okay?
I'll give you guys a good price. You get the Paul Thornton special here.
Hey, let's have a little fun, or actually could be a little disaster.
Okay.
So, in a recent episode, totally unplanned, a guest turned the table on me and asked me a couple of rapid fire questions that I was not prepared for.
Okay.
So that's why I said it could be a little disaster. But it turned out to be a lot of fun. And I said, well, let me incorporate that when I have, repeat guests like you, and I've asked them a zillion questions. So I'm going to use it with you. Rapid fire, ask away 2 or 3 questions you have for me.
What is your favorite cruise that you ever been on?
Well, I'll tell you why I'm hesitating. I know the answer to that without hesitation. But I actually have a podcast episode scheduled. It's a couple of months from now on my top 10 cruises of all time.
Oh, okay.
And so I know number one, but
Yeah, that would be a spoiler. Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
want to mess up that show.
Let's
I
change
don't
that.
Okay.
I don't want to like not answer your question, but I don't want to scoop my own
Right.
podcast.
So tell me one of the top 10.
Okay, I'll tell you one of the top 10 is a cruise I just got off of. And that was Explorer Journeys.
I
And,
love that. That's in your top 10.
and all I can say is, oh my God. Um,
Wow.
it's a kind of cruise, it's the kind of ship you go on it. I'm not particularly interested in going on any other cruise ship.
Wow, that says a lot.
It's like, for me, it was perfect. First of all, it's a small ship. It only holds like at capacity 900.
Yes.
They never fill it to capacity by choice. So it usually runs with like 700. I think we had six and change.
Wow.
So it's very small. It has a lot of unique spaces. And so, I think I'm very much an introvert. It's the kind of ship that an introvert can go on and just get lost in the spaces. You don't want to be around anybody. There's so many. So here's an example. Now, on most mainstream ships, not most, but some mainstream ships I've been on, they have like cabanas that you can kind of rent for like $400 a day.
Mhm.
Well, Explorer Journeys has those too, but you don't pay anything. I mean, it's a luxury cruise line,
Right,
but
luxury.
but they're included. And so you could just get in a cabana and just like not move for hours. And if you're an introvert who your thing about going on cruises is not so much interacting with people, and I don't mean to sound antisocial, but not so much interacting with people, but just becoming one with the ocean, this ship was like perfect for that.
Oh.
But that's not what's best about it. What's best about it is food. I mean, there was just no cruise line that can touch it in terms of food. And I did a lot of research on it, and so I have to say I haven't been on other luxury ships like Regent Seven Seas
Get the credit card ready.
or any of those. But I have, in my research process, I have heard a lot of input from people who have been on those lines, and they pick
Oh.
Explorer's food.
That lunch that we had was amazing. So I can't imagine around the clock how good the food was. Yeah, we're definitely that's on
Yeah,
our
that's
to-do
on the
list.
radar.
It's on our to sale list. And we do want to go with our children when we go because I like that you can bring kids on there. To,
Yeah, I was surprised that they allow
yeah.
they allow kids. And they have, I understand they have a stellar kids program, and like for instance, you know how I tell you they have all of these different hot tubs and infinity pools, small infinity pools. They have one that you can only go in parents with children.
Huh.
Which I thought was very unique, particularly on a luxury ship like that, where you could count the
Right.
children on one hand. But no, you couldn't go in this. It was like a combination infinity pool, whirlpool. I don't know what it was. It was really nice, but you couldn't go on that particular one unless you were going on it with kids
Oh, I
or
like
going
that.
in it with kids. Uh, yeah, it was really really nice.
Love that. My next question, out of all specialty restaurants on all cruise ships, what is your number one specialty restaurant?
Le Voyage on Celebrity Beyond. It is the first restaurant at sea by Daniel Ballard. Now, for listeners who are into culinary or cuisine, they will know that Daniel Ballard is a world-renowned chef. He has a place in New York. He has a place in Paris, and on Celebrity Beyond, he opened his first restaurant with his name.
Oh,
So Le Voyage by Daniel Ballard. They also have it on. I went on Celebrity Yawn, and then they also have it on Celebrity Ascent. So,
okay.
but
Yeah, we
yeah,
haven't been on those two ships, so now I know.
and I would have told you before I went on Explorer that celebrity is the best food at sea in general. But not
Wow.
at the
Wow.
Explorer.
Wow. We got to get on that Explorer.
Right. You have us sold. And you talked about the kids camp. We actually know the man who creates the kids camps on MSC. We got to meet him finally in person. We followed each other on social media for a while now. So really cool guy. Really passionate about what he
Yeah.
does.
Thank you for those questions.
No, that worked out.
We
You did good.
we want to know what you like. So no, disaster. I need to listen to that episode that it was a disaster on now.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a disaster. It actually went well.
Okay.
But it could have been a disaster.
Okay, because
I wasn't expecting it. Like here, I was expecting it because you all are 3-time visitors, so I have to switch things up. This wasn't that case. He just asked me out of the blue.
Oh, okay.
And so
You always got to stay on your toes.
it wasn't a disaster. In fact, I liked it so much that I'm now going to incorporate it.
Yeah.
So, well, Richard Jazzy, it has been great chatting with you again. Thank you so much for being the second guest to come on 3 times. And I know, unless you just one day say, nope, no more. I know you'll be on for the 4th time, the 5th time, the 6th time, long as we cruise.
We'll always be back. We're huge
always be
supporters of
back.
your podcast. You know that. We're rooting for you. We really love everything we see that you're doing. We're super proud of all the growth that we've seen on your podcast. So that's why we're always here to help you, to promote, to help you to push. If we could be on here, we would love to.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. As I like to say, the check is in the mail. But as I really like to say, we will see you on the ocean.
Yes, and we do need to actually see you on the ocean, Mr. Thornton.
Yeah, we got time. We'll figure it out somehow.
Yes, we will figure
All
it
right,
out.
y'all. Have a good day. Go get the girls.
Thank you so much for having us again. We appreciate it.
All right, take care. I'll be in touch.
Okay, take care.
The Joy of Cruising and Cruising Interrupted, each $16.99 plus shipping, and new release, The Joy of Cruising Again for $18.99 can be ordered at the link on thejoyofcruisingpodcast.com. For each of the 3 books, use the discount code Joy of Cruising Podcast and get $4 off. The Joy of Cruising books are also available at Amazon. Order the ebook at Amazon or your favorite online retailer. Stay in touch by joining the Joy of Cruising Podcast Facebook group or following the Joy of Cruising Podcast on Instagram. We're constantly adding new shows. Please leave a review and tell a friend about us. We hope you enjoyed this brief escape to the ocean. See you next week.